On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
It was a privilege to be able to sit at the MCG on Friday night and watch the Sydney Swans and Melbourne go at it, two teams in front of 78,377 people, and in the end, the Sydney Swans prevailed by 22 points. They go to the prelim, and now the Demons don't have the safety net underneath them. Angus Brayshaw has been good enough to take our call this morning. Gus, welcome.
Morning, Gaz. Morning, Bucks. How's it going?
Yeah, we're going well. Was it as tough and hard a game out there as it looked from us in the grandstand?
Yeah, it was. It was. It's a typical finals game, I thought. You know, with big contests and pressure the whole way through. Credit to Sydney. They were obviously too good, but the game, despite the scoreboard not going over, we won contests in time and a half, which are things we sort of look at. So we're not, we're certainly not beaten yet. We've got obviously a huge game coming up, and our game's in half decent shape. We just need to be, I think, more efficient going forward, which has been the thing all year. So we're back to work today, and looking forward to it. It's very exciting.
There has been a little bit of the rhetoric that's come out of you guys in the last 6 to 8 weeks about that front half football, about playing the game in your own half. I mean, if you're turning the ball over there, you're going to give yourself a better chance to score. And you did that extremely well in the first quarter and went back and just built that pressure on the opposition. Outside of that, you really did lower your eyes really well. Charlie Spargo hit hit his targets a few times. Did you get bomby as the game went on, or was it just Sydney's capacity to defend you really well across the ground?
Yeah, I think there's probably a bit of both, and the pressure that they put on was just, I thought was probably the best that we've ever faced all year. So, as I said, they're a terrific side and playing some great football. As for the way our method in the back half of the game, I think. Everyone always talks about doing stuff for longer, and you're right. That we played into the intercepting game a little bit. The McCartan brothers and those sorts were taking, some strong intercept marks across the back line, probably because we did get a little bit bomby, Bucks. But I still think if you look at the whole game, they just did their style for longer, which is. Which is there's no secret. That's what wins games in big finals. But as I said at the start, it's not like we were horrendous. I think there's enough there for us to go back and sharpen up, and we still, that's why you get a second chance, as far as I'm concerned, to have another crack. And we're certainly not done yet. We're going to be, we get another huge final in front of our fans in the MCG, and that's awesome. And then, that's all we're focused on.
The Stephen May Lance Franklin contest was highlighted in the broadcast, and it was quite significant in the match. I mean, I thought May was just huge. He was first class. It had that moment that we all looked at, that momentum shift sort of in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. Did you feel that out in the ground, and was it a significant moment for you as an individual?
I can't remember seeing Steve May play a better game than that. I think He was incredible, and that was an awesome matchup. We were sort of all, the external media was certainly salivating over it. I, from a personal perspective, thought it was going to be amazing, and it was. It lived up to, as far as I'm concerned. May was incredible, and as far as that individual moment, it's not something that. We were up by a few goals at the time. I didn't think it swung the game, but it's something that, as a group, I remember in the first, or maybe it was the second pre-season game, we played Carlton and gave away 8 goals from downfield free kicks, and it was after that game that we sort of, as a group, really committed to cutting that stuff out, the discipline stuff. That's something that we can really easily control, and whether the free kicks were there or not. That action is something that we've reviewed, and there was a few others throughout the day where 50s were given, and that's not who we are as a group, and they're things that we can certainly control. So I don't think it was a momentum swinger, but having said that, there was a few throughout the game that I think we gave away 3 goals, just off the top of my head, remembering from 50s and downfield frees and things of that nature. So it stacks up against you. And as we've touched on, when you're playing a team like Sydney who's in red hot form, playing a really strong game, those goals are you're giving that to them for free, and we're working really hard for ours. It certainly makes it harder for you to win games. We're trying to explain.
We're talking about finals footy and the difference between when we looked at contested footy and uncontested footy for you guys on Friday night. It was 1-1 basically. It was 166 contested possessions to 167 uncontested, which doesn't happen. Which meant you couldn't get on the outside. The Swans were so good at pressuring. I mean, was that a game that you walk away from and go, gee, I hardly had time to breathe out there?
Yes, it absolutely was. And as we sort of touched on, everyone knows the pressure goes up and the stakes go up, and players lift for big finals. And so I'm not sure. I don't think we'll look too hard at the ratios or anything like that. But what we will take away is that when things went up, when the pressure went up, where did we break down in our game? So it'll be less about the numbers. I don't know if that's the first time or something that it's 1-1. It's not the first time I've heard that, so it might be significant from a historic perspective. But from our game and what we're going to be focusing on, it'll be less about that number and more about, okay, well, where do we break down? And I think you're right. They were effectively able to pressure us, and we weren't able to possess the ball or have it easy. It felt like all night was a real slog, which is you got to expect that playing finals. But also our method, they were able to stop us from doing what we probably wanted for the most of the night.
Righto, Dan. Last time we interviewed you, you said that the contract was a long way off, and then the next day you signed it. So we need honest answers to this, please. Petrarca and Spargo and Oliver, I think, ended up having a cut to the cheek. How are they all going?
That was very funny. I spoke to my uncle literally on Triple M a couple of hours before I spoke to my manager, and then the ball starts rolling and things happen very quickly. So it was all sincere. I didn't tell any porkies. There's a funny way that all works out.
You don't have to tell us anything, mate.
I spoke to Spargs, and I say spoke. He didn't really speak too much. His throat's a bit bashed up, but he's good to go. Track has got, I think it's been reported already that there's a fracture there in his leg, but it's not significant. And if I know Christian the way that I think I do, there won't be any amount of fracture that could keep him off the ground for this game. So he's ready to go. And did you mention any others?
Just Clayton got his beautiful looks marred a bit by a little scratch. Yeah, well, thank God he's got a brilliant personality. His face certainly has seen better days. But look, we're good to go. I think everyone at this point of the year has got something that's not 100%. You get through a whole year of football and get banged up, but something that is really strong is our resolve as a group. We're really, we're all in this together. We had a good session, good recovery session yesterday where we all came together and everyone's in, strong spirits, and we know that Brisbane are going to be a really strong game and we're ready for it. So I think all the injuries, as far as I'm aware, there's nothing to worry about, and we'll have a good side ready to go out and play Brisbane.
Angus, a couple of weeks ago, just before we leave you, there's going to be a focus on Zorko and Petty, or I suppose the emotion of the last time that you played. I don't know whether, the media will bring that up. I don't know whether it's relevant in your circles, but facing that and bringing that sort of intensity into a finals game, you'd have to think there'd be a bit of niggle in the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think first of all, the media will definitely be something that's, how can they not speak about it, sort of thing. So I suspect that'll be present, and then you got to think about how that impacts on Pets, your teammate, and the rest of the group. So, it's something that we dealt with really well, I felt like, in the game. After three-quarter time, we played strong, hard, but not reckless, or, we didn't overstep the line physically, blokes weren't trying to line him up, and no one got any weeks or anything like that. So I feel like the blueprint's there for us as a group to deal with it. We're not trying to, dismiss it or avoid it or, undersell what Pets is going through. But as a group, we know that we stick together, and when the ball's there to be won, you can go at it as hard and fairly as you like, sort of thing. So the niggle will be there, I'm certain. But we've done it before. I think we've got a really good grasp as a group on how to stick together the right way and not overstep the mark. And at the end of the day, niggle's not going to win finals. Niggle's not going to win you the game. And we, you just got to look at the last time that this has popped up for us as a blueprint. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think the boys are worrying about it too much either, mind you. So it'll be something that I'd be surprised if Goody doesn't touch on at some point throughout the week. But we've got a really clear focus on what to bring it back to so that it doesn't get out of control and we don't play into Brisbane's game.
Get that ball sorted out inside 50 and we might be talking about something a bit different. We appreciate you joining us this morning on what's a big week in the build-up to Friday night. Good luck.